You know what? I feel like a lot of us don't understand one thing, that when we say to our first option that has to be the best, whatever our best option is, 90% of the time in our life, we don't have our first option as an option. We make it look like an option and then we feel bad. My suggestion is start to treat your second option as your best option, because your first option normally belongs to Fantasyland. Yes, I would love to have a husband who's super romantic. Yes, I would love to have an office which is in the heart of the city, right 5 minutes away from my house. Yes, I'd like to have, and you know what? Then whatever is your second best option that is possible, just become super grateful for that. So darling, if you have to leave for the office, go to the office knowing that, you know what, I can watch it at my convenience because Pooja is anyway going to upload it. So that we can stop feeling bad about, I think too many of us are feeling bad because our first option is not the option we are able to take. My suggestion, start to call your first option fantasy option, so that in your heart and brain you already know that all of us have a fantasy option and then we have a reality option. Okay, now in your reality option, even if that option doesn't exist, you can feel a little bad, but don't feel bad because of the fantasy option. Okay, so I'm so happy you have a job. I'm so happy you have to go to work. That's a good place to be in, hai na? Feel so lucky you took my name. Oh, 1,000 kisses to you, Gul Nigar. Saubana, Saubana. You skipped my name. No, Swati Mahesh, I didn't skip anyone's name. Honestly, I know a lot of you feel or think that I skip your questions or I skip your name or I didn't take your name. Please notice the number of people in the room. If I start reading out every single person's name, the whole 1 hour will just go in acknowledging who are the people in the room. True or not? So I just read a few names and then I move into whatever thoughts and concepts that are coming to me. Okay, Meri Jaan? So nobody in my tribe is allowed to feel bad, because I want your self-esteem to be high enough to know that Pooja is not purposely going to skip our name or skip our question. If for some reason it didn't get answered, it was only because there were so many people. True, you know, there used to be a time in my Insta live right in the beginning when I started about 2-3 years ago, where I would answer every question because it was possible. If there are only 30 people in the room, I can easily cover everyone. True, but today there are so many more, it's become impossible. All right, let's move into the questions. Devika, congratulations on your new office. Okay, let me show it to you. Yeah, sure. 1 second. What do I have to press? This. Okay. So this is my certificate wall, if you can see it. This is my desk. That is a artwork I just picked up. It's called Togetherness. So if you can see, I have a concept called Sisterverse in my tribe, and this is 4 women where you can see their foreheads joining with one another, and that big third eye on the corner, the red bindi, is just all of us on a growth journey, on an evolving path. And as our wisdoms get exchanged, as we belong to one another, how much beautiful our life will become. And so this whole painting is just a what would I say, a symbolic representation of the sisterverse that I want to create in this world. And then of course those are my storage cupboards and my bookshelves, and that's my husband's office opposite side, and then that's my brother-in-law's office on the other side. So we have this common passage, and that's pretty much it for now. I'm still doing it up, so tell me in the chat box, what do you think of the setup? Yeah, I'd love to hear. Oh, thank you. Yeah, such a meaningful artwork. Yes, absolutely. I took my time to choose it, and I was so happy when I received the name of this artwork was called Togetherness. And I felt like that's pretty much what I'm trying to create. So thank you. Yeah, my chachi actually runs a huge NGO which does all of this artwork, and you know, she's in touch with a lot of painters, and she's pretty much helped me. So if anybody's looking to source good artwork, Khushi is what you need to Google, and if you would like, I can share the number and they'll send you lots of these paintings, and then You can choose whichever one. They can get it commissioned also, and you can buy it off also. All right, now let's go into questions. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see, where are we at? Thank you for all of you who are congratulating me. I'm super excited about the new office. It's really simple, sweet, one small room, but love it. Oh, that's so sweet the way you put it, Anuba. The artwork found you, Puja, together on a journey of a lifetime. That's too sweet. I love that. I'm going to start to say that. Thank you. Lovely sentence. Artwork found you. Nisa, last week my story was added by you. I know you're busy with your family. I think that's why I didn't add. That's why I couldn't add mine. It's possible. You know what? Sometimes some stories get missed because either the share button will not be there, or some issue will be there, or it's come in later. One of those things may have happened, but we'll put your name in. If in case you've shared, not to worry, I'll get your name added, Nisa. All right. Let's start with the questions. So Kapila Dr. Jyoti is asking how to stop expecting. I have absolutely no idea, Kapila, because that's one thing I haven't been able to stop all my life. I have a feeling that, the only people we don't expect from are the ones we are not giving anything to. Our neighbors, our, people we don't know are the ones we don't expect. What is a relationship? A relationship is where you give and you expect. That's a relationship, true? So I don't know how to stop expecting. What I have managed to become an expert is how to manage the disappointment when the expectations are not matched. And my favorite example is always of me cooking the whole day, expecting Puneet to give me a compliment. And then when he doesn't give me a compliment, I feel bad. Now, instead of feeling bad, what are all the things that I can do? And I think if we can learn to manage our disappointments, let's say I put in a lot of effort to do a presentation, but it doesn't land the way I want it to. How to not have the expectation when you're going to put in that level of effort, right? So if you put in so much effort, you're going to want to do a good job in your presentation, but for whatever reason, it doesn't go up to the mark. Learning to handle that disappointment. If you had to ask me the difference between successful people and ordinary people, successful people know how to manage their disappointments. Ordinary people get scared of their expectations and don't do only that, if I do and it doesn't go right, then I'll feel worse. So to everyone in this room, my suggestion is every day do something where you get disappointed. And learn to manage that disappointment. Now, how do you manage the disappointment? There are many options. One is to accept what has happened. Okay, the first thing we have to do is accept what has happened. Puneet didn't give me a compliment even though I spent the whole day cooking. The presentation did not go well because of I forgot, let's say, the most important quotation or the most important point or anything. You can just, so one is to firstly accept that things didn't go your way. Sometimes we start to blame, we start to complain, no, I think accepting is step one. That you accept that it didn't go your way, right? Now step two, do you want to redo something because of that? Is there a different kind of conversation that you can have? Because there's always an option of doing it calmly or doing it angrily. So now if I've decided that I need to have this conversation not with myself but with someone else or with myself, both ways you can do it calmly or you can do it angrily. Now let me explain what is the difference between the two. In one, I can say, Puja, you're so stupid. Why did you forget that point? That was the most important point. What a waste of a preparation you did. Puja, you're always so dumb. Remember in school also you were stupid and now also you continue to be stupid. You're a stupid person. Next time please don't attempt these things if you're not going to be able to. And you know that our mind can be so vicious. We say things to ourselves we'll never say to anyone else. And you know what that's going to do to my self-esteem? Do you know what that's going to do to my courage? You know what that's going to do to my desire to want to achieve anything in life? It's going to make it an anda. True or not? And the same is with other people. Let's say I cooked the whole day for Puneet and he doesn't give me a compliment and I start to go, you never give me a compliment. I think you don't love me only. And you'll see a lot of people reacting like that also. Hai na? And I think the most important thing is to choose your words for yourself and for others of kindness. So if we can all grow in kindness, we can actually handle our disappointments much better. So I ask myself, okay, what is the correct question to ask Puneet? Maybe I can ask him, sweetheart, what happened? Did you have a really busy day? Because I noticed you did not appreciate the food. He may turn around and say, oh my God, yeah, Puja, I'm so sorry. I wanted to tell you I was licking my fingers, but I was so busy eating, I forgot to tell you how amazing the food was. Or I didn't even concentrate on the food, Puja. Today was such a heavy day at work. My bank loan didn't get passed. My this didn't happen, that didn't happen. I was just not into the food. Whatever his reaction is, when you ask politely, sweetly, kindly, and try to understand, try to speak to understand and not try to speak to accuse, you can actually take the relationship from very average to very beautiful. True or not? So I feel like learning to manage that disappointment, and sometimes, you know what, I just may make up my mind that, you know, this is not worth it for me. So I may not want to cook ever again because I know neither Puneet appreciates it and it's too much effort for me. So my return on investment on cooking is just not there. I'd rather just order Swiggy and him and I both be happy, because then I'm not expecting no compliment, correct? So again, you can decide to choose to never do it again. You can decide to redo it again. Managing, using your intelligence to manage your disappointments is one of the biggest gifts you can give to yourself and the people around you. So don't ever think of, I know a lot of people say don't expect, but how? Itni mehnat karke, how to not expect? So that level of teacher I'm not yet, where I can say I don't want to have expectations. Because you know what, when we say I don't want to expect, what we do is we block the relationship. We build a wall between that person and yourself. And then we want the happiness and the love to flow. Can't. The minute you build that wall, if the bad things will stay out, even the good things will stay out. So this whole concept to not have expectations, I'm not in agreement with. I think have expectations, and when they don't work out, better to communicate. And if you're able to get the person to start to match your expectations, that's beautiful. If you're not able to get the person to match your expectations, change your expectations. Okay, I think it's very foolish when I meet someone who after 15 years of marriage and 20 years of marriage is still saying the same thing they were saying on day one. But Puja, he doesn't communicate, but Puja, he doesn't talk, but Puja, he doesn't dash. Okay, if you didn't know that in the first year, second year, third year, I understood very early in my marriage that Puneet and I can't shop together. Okay, because I'm a very quick shopper. I'll quickly pick things. He likes to try on every garment. Okay, I don't try on. I know my sizes in my shops, and I'll just go and I can finish shopping in 2 hours. He'll buy 2 things in 2 hours. I'll buy 20 things in 2 hours, right? So once we realize that, what we tend to do is, you know, at this time, we'll meet after 2 hours for 12 o'clock at lunch. It works beautifully for us. Now I see some couples who will wait outside, the husband will wait outside the dressing room, make his wife try on, and I love that. I think it's so sweet how they do it, but every time I've tried it, it's not worked for me. So now what have I done? I've changed my expectations. Earlier, what was the expectation? He'll come with me, we'll shop together. Doesn't work for us as a couple. Okay, now am I going to spend the rest of my life saying, but he doesn't take me shopping, but he doesn't this thing, but he... No. Okay, guess what? I have 2 very nice friends who are divas, who can guide me very easily on whatever I need to buy. Unko saath le jati hu. Are you getting it, what I'm trying to say here? So try your level best to manage your disappointment. Have expectations. Don't cut them off, because the more we stop expecting, the more dull we become. There is an aliveness to enthusiasm and excitement for life. And when we stop expecting from ourselves or people around us, we dull ourselves down. True or not? Tell me in the chat box if you agree. Amita Pink 06. I don't take anyone talking shit about me, but what if they instigate me talking about my loved ones? How can I stay calm at that situation? I don't take anyone talking shit about me, but what if they instigate me by talking, I'm guessing, about my loved ones? How can I stay calm in this situation? Amita, I think it's very important to set boundaries. So whenever someone talks to me against someone who's very close to me, I just tell them, look, because I have not had the same experience as you, I'd rather we don't talk about them, because we have a different opinion on this person. Okay. Every person, actually, honestly, over the years, one of the most important realizations that I've had is that it doesn't matter who's saying what against someone. If in my personal experience I haven't had that experience, I'm not going to judge that person. I remember I used to have this client where something she did and her reputation in the city became really bad, and people started to warn me to stay away, that even my reputation will get spoiled in the process of trying to help her. And I said, absolutely not. I'm never going to stay away from this lady because I think she's simply fabulous. I know her inside out. She's my client. I'm there to help her professionally, and there's no way I'm leaving her when she needs me most. Okay, so a lot of times, a lot of people think it's cool to talk about, but I'm very good at setting these boundaries, and I'd love for you to do the same, where you just tell them, you know what, when you talk about them, it hurts me because I love them. So can we make a deal that we don't talk about this person because we don't have the same opinion on this person? You know, I've done that with a lot of people. One of the things I don't like to do, or I'm not able to do, is live with the person and discuss those people. So if somebody speaks against my staff to me, let's say my mother's come over and she's complaining something about my staff, I'm okay with her complaining. One time is okay, but if she continues to do that, you know, this person is not right and all, I'll say, look mom, I have to stay with them. If you feel my mind against them, then I will become very upset. So then let's not even talk about them. And the minute she understood that, she said, Puja, actually it's such a lovely policy, I should do the same. And she herself is now, we just don't ever discuss staff in a negative way. If we are discussing staff in a negative way, either you chuck them out or you stop talking about them. I don't want us to be spending our life discussing someone who we have an option of cutting out of our life. True or not? So like that, those people who are instigating you by speaking against your loved ones, I think you need to set the boundary. And if they still don't listen, I think it's about time you realize that there are some people whose vibrational level is so low that the only way they feel better about themselves is by putting other people down. And if you are surrounded by people like that, eventually you will become who you are surrounded by. So my suggestion is change the company as soon as you can, whenever you can. There's no hurry, but you have to start to look for better friends, newer friends who are at your vibrational level. Yeah? Nevita, hi ma'am, how to overcome the feelings of being left out in family functions by cousins? Nevita, this is not just your problem, but a lot of us suffer from this feeling of being left out. So I think the most important thing to do is to, you know, whenever we are in a group, there is something called group dynamics and there's something called one-to-one dynamics, okay? Now, people who invest in one-to-one will eventually not feel left out. People who are straight looking for group dynamics before building one-to-one dynamics can often feel left out, which means what? That the concept is that even in a group, there is always mini groups inside groups. How many of you know that? Yes? There are mini groups inside groups. And no one person will ever be popular with everybody. Or I wouldn't say never, but I would say that most of the times within the group there are sections. Now what is important is for you to penetrate one of those mini groups. So in a mini group, normally there will be 2 to 3 people. Now in that 2 to 3 people, you need to see who is it that you can get close to. So if 2 or 3 people are there, how can you start to build an individual relationship with each one? Which means you have to give before you take. Okay, so you need to start to nurture each person, and as you nurture them, they will become your focal point, and from next time onwards when you are in the group dynamics, you won't feel left out, because people who feel left out basically don't belong to the micro groups in the larger group. You need that one Stephanie, as we like to call it. You know what is a Stephanie? The one that in the car we use. You need that one person you should be able to depend on. So before the next family function, Nevita, I want you to decide who's your favorite cousin. I want you to start to call them more often. I need you to start to invest in them. I need you to find out what they like, what they don't like, and I need you to work on nurturing that relationship by providing them what they need, so that eventually you can get from them what you need. Try this strategy and see. Sometimes it helps. Yeah. Meera Vikram 1111. Can you please tell me, when I feel dejected, how do I motivate myself? So Meera, it's a beautiful question for the simple reason that just know that once a week, okay, I feel dejected. Like once a week, sometime in the week, I will just feel like अब कुछ नहीं दिल कर रहा करने का, ये मैं सब क्यों कर रही हूँ, my mind will go off in some other direction only. One of the things I've started to do is learn to accept that I have a monkey mind within me that will once in a week feel this way. So now that I know that it's going to come, instead of fighting it, instead of feeling bad for myself, I just allow for it to pass. And I feel like that has really worked well with me, because every morning we wake up with a new mood. Have you noticed that? And those new moods actually, there are days when I'm super motivated and super excited, and there are days when I'm just like, aaj nahi hoga, And I think learning to accept both and treating them as a part of the roller coaster ride that we are all on really helps. So the days that you are dejected, my suggestion is allow yourself, knowing that tomorrow is a new day and you must get up fresh. Now, few things that I do to get myself out of the rut. One, have a strong morning routine. Okay, what is a strong morning routine? Make sure that you schedule your day's activities, preferably on the previous night itself. I'll show you my planner, is right here. So have a diary. When you have a diary, every single morning, write in it what is the most important thing you need to achieve on that day. What is that frog that you're going to have, right? Every single day, try to do gratitude. It puts you in a better space. So morning, first thing I'll do is do my gratitude, read my goals, write out what are my most important 1, 2 or 3 things that I need to achieve, schedule them into my timeline, which means 10 to 11 Instagram, 11:15 to 12:15 team meeting, 4 o'clock SS, 5:30 orientation for the 30th July event. I know my whole calendar by heart. Why? Because I have it all written down, and in the morning fully planned what I need to do before, after, preparation, all of it. So the more you are planning really helps in performance. Okay, start to plan a little more, and then after a while stop planning and move into action. Even an 80% plan is good enough to move into action. Even a 50% plan sometimes is good enough to move into action. All of your planning is just to trigger you into action. Okay, so see if you can use any of these, and the more you can work on building your commitment muscle, your discipline muscle, the easier you will start to find life. A lot of us want to wake up one day and do everything right. It doesn't work like that. First, you're going to only get one thing right. To that, you'll add a second thing. To that, you'll add a third thing. And it's over time that our commitment muscle becomes so strong that what used to be an effort, brushing our teeth, is now coming naturally to us. It takes no effort to brush, right? Because your habits become your behaviors. In the beginning, you have to be conscious about your habits. Eventually, it is just naturally who you are. But it takes time to turn a habit into behavior, and for that, you have to build that consistency. For consistency to build, you need a planner. Have a planner, it really helps. Yes? God bless you, darling. This artwork is giving so much more energy. Oh, thank you so much, Biren. I'm loving you all, loving the artwork, because I just absolutely love it. Minimalistic and beautiful. If I ever have, I want a similar office like you, Pooja. Thank you so much, Pragya. That's so kind of you. Dimple lenses. I am at the crossroads with my mother, for she won't let me keep it with the family. It's really hard for me. I'm at crossroads with my mother, for she won't let me keep it with family. Okay, she won't let me keep it with family. I'm just guessing your relationship. So, you know what? There are times when we have to outgrow our own parents, because how and what they operate with is their value system, and sometimes their value system and your value system is not a match. Till the time you are genuinely able to communicate that while I do this, mom, don't worry, I'm not going to neglect you, I'm not going to, sometimes people can get possessive because they can get insecure. So you just need to understand what could be the purpose behind your mom not allowing you or supporting you in whatever it is you want to do. And once you understand it, if you can thandafy her, shant her into, that no, that's not a concern I'd like you to have, over time it can all start to work out. Yeah. Testing time 2022, how to deal with childhood rape and trauma resulting with that. Testing time, I don't know if that level of question is okay for me to answer on an Instagram live. I feel like it needs a lot more processing, Miri Jaan. So a lot of us have dealt with things in our childhood that never got processed, that never got the attention it deserves, or it never got acknowledged. So at different levels, this will need healing. This will need healing from the people who were supposed to protect you but didn't. This will need healing from the person who actually was the accuser. This will need healing from your own beliefs that you have created in the process of having to have dealt with something at that young an age, right? Because all of our life's perceptions are actually made under the age of 7. And when under the age of 7, we go through something as traumatic as rape or anything like that, what can happen is that we can stop trusting the world. And when we don't operate from a place of trust, we are continuously in fear. Fear creates very different chemicals in our body, very different mindset gets created. And you know what? Then to operate in life, everything just gets so much harder. It's like, imagine if I told you to climb Mount Everest and now I put one big boulder on your back and said, now climb. Mount Everest was hard enough. Now with that boulder, it almost feels impossible. True or not? So to everyone here who's gone through something that you are trying to solve by yourself, my suggestion would be find yourself a professional counselor. These are things you don't want to learn to deal with yourself. Neither you nor your family sometimes are equipped to help you handle all of this. It needs a lot more. There's a lot of kachra that lands up sitting inside in the process because what you've gone through is so outside of your body. You know, a lot of people who've gone through situations like this will say, literally we could visualize ourselves because our soul was sitting outside. I mean, look at what's happened in Manipur recently. It's just heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. And these are conversations as women we have to start to have. No matter how uncomfortable we get, no matter how difficult these are, they need to come into mainstream. This is so important. So firstly, I applaud your courage for asking a question like this on an Instagram live. But I want each one of you to start to look at getting professional help. You will be surprised what took 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of sitting inside can be cleared in a month, 2 or 3 at the max. And once you have it cleared, you will wonder why you didn't do it earlier. Okay? So I want you to know there's full hope, but it needs action. Renu Jacob wanted to ask you, Puja, how do we be consistent path of gratefulness and to be in a positive energy of this universe? Renu, if you had to ask me how am I consistently grateful, it is for the simple reason that my faith in my God is so massive that everything that happens in my life, good, bad, ugly, has a purpose behind. It is just that I don't have the maturity or the intelligence yet to be able to see how could this benefit me or how is this for me. There are things that will happen in our lives that will almost seem like God is working against us, but the real truth is He's not. He always has a plan, and sometimes when we ask God for more courage, He puts more problems. When we ask God for more patience, He puts toxic people. When we ask God to grow us in our emotional maturity, He makes sure that there is an emotional mess around us that we should be able to outgrow. So to every growth in life, there is a problem that shows up. And the day we can start to get grateful for the problems of our life, you know you have arrived and evolved. So my suggestion to you will be build faith that everything that's happening in your life is happening for a purpose, for a reason that you may or may not see yet. But you know what? Eventually it is going to make you the Renu you truly deserve to be or are becoming, you know. Please share your artworks in the whole story. Of course, I'll definitely do that. Mystic World, Saubana, beautiful artwork. Oh, thank you. Love the energy. A Prasad, how to find passion when my age is 40 plus? You know why I'm laughing at your question? Because Miri Jaan, 40 plus is when a woman really, when a man or a woman really arrives these days. You see, what used to be earlier, if you remember that when I was younger, there used to be an ad by Jitendra where it used to be the 30 plus tablet. Today, the whole thing, earlier on, what was it? 1 to 12 years was one segment of your life. Then 12 to 24 was about learning. 24 to this thing was about, Grihastha, which was supposed to be all about building your family, having your children. And then you were supposed to, by about 36 or something, go into the ashrams and live your life. And 50 was considered like you're old and gone and half in the grave. Now, this whole age thing worked out at that time like this because the age we used to live only till 50, 55, and as time started to pass by, this whole thing has changed. Today at 40, you're barely in the middle of your life. True or not? Most of us, the average age of a human being is 72 and an average age of a woman is 76. That means if you're just about crossed your midlife, right? So now is when you are mature, you are smart, you are intelligent, you've done everything it takes to reach an age where you have to blossom. So I think at 40 is when I have literally blossomed, and I'm going to tell all of you here, it's only actually once you hit 30 that maturity of experience comes into your journey. You stop caring about what other people think and you start to go, what matters is who I am for myself. And when you start to live your journey from that energy, whether it happens to you at 30, 35 or 40, that's when you start to take responsibility. And when you start to take responsibility of your life because you're so disappointed with everyone around you or every situation around you, that's when you start to build your life by design. So I'm going to suggest to every single one of you now, what you're asking is how to find my passion. Simple. The more you explore, the faster you'll find your passion. Some of us are sitting on our sofas and wondering, why am I not able to figure out my passions, right? You try instruments, you'll find an instrument you love. You try exercising, you'll find an exercise you love. You try different careers, you will find a career. When I started out back in 2000, at one point I was a makeup artist. At another point I started packaging business, and at another point I joined an MLM company and started to do multi-level marketing. At one point I started a preschool called Alps. I went through at least 5-6 different options before I hit which I think is my ultimate purpose, which is to help people, right? Now it took me time because I had to try many things in the process of knowing what is not working also. When I started to do the packaging business, I realized that I want to do a business which also has respect and admiration, not just money making. I could have only known that because I tried that and I realized it was not giving me the satisfaction I wanted, right? So it's all about how much can you try. So today sit down and make a list of things. Every soul is attracted to something. Some of us are attracted to science. Some of us are attracted to aesthetics, beauty in the world. Some of us are attracted to helping. We have a service mindset and heart set that really wants to contribute. Look at what is that you are feeling attracted to. Make a list of all of that and sit and explore what it is out of those that you can start to do right away. Maybe you'd love to try some hand at art. Maybe you'd like to try some, see what it is that you try. Remember one thing Marie Folio says very beautifully. What was it? I know that line so well and suddenly it just blanked off, okay? But it is, I think, basically called something does not come from thought, it comes from engagement. Yeah. Clarity. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Clarity does not come from thought, it comes from engagement. Okay. So if you really want clarity, it's not going to come from just thinking. You have to think and engage. Think, engage, explore. Think, engage, explore. Think, engage, explore. You do that enough, you'll find your passion for sure. मैम आपके जैसा कॉन्फिडेंस कैसे आएगा? रोज रिस्क लो, रोज कुछ छोटा सा अकम्प्लिश करो. The first time I had to do the Insta Live, I was so nervous because I'm not good with technologies. What I've said to myself all my life, so I was like, on nahi hua, बीच में बंद हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. I had 1,000 stories to myself about how I can't do things on digital, I can't do things on technology. Today I run a fully digital online company. But you know what? It all happened because every day I said, okay, today I'll learn how to do breakout rooms on Zoom. Today I'll just learn how to switch on my computer. Today I'll learn how to, fix my presentations. Today I will learn, and every day learning, every day learning, every day learning. Suddenly 10 years later, people are saying, wow, Puja, you're so confident. In my head, I'm thinking, no, but sometimes we don't even realize how we are appearing to other people because we started the journey taking those small, chota steps. And every day you take a chota step, you accomplish it. You take a small step, you accomplish it every day. Guess what's happening? Within you, your courage muscle is getting built. And for people who have a high level of courage, you will see them automatically moving into confidence. Confidence is not believing that everything will work out. Confidence is knowing that when things will go wrong, you will still be able to manage. And I think that only happens when you keep doing rather than keep thinking. Too many of us are thinking the day I'm confident, then I'll start. It's actually fully ulta. You start and you will get confident. True or not? Nishkalai, how to develop a routine in kids. They are not okay with affirmation and meditation. I'd like to inculcate these habits as early as possible. So Nishkalai, one of the things I'll tell you, and this is just my opinion, I don't know if it is true or not, but I feel like, we have two kinds of children. One who bloom early and one who bloom late. And the late bloomers are the majority, but unfortunately the system or community that we live in appreciates the early bloomers. So people whose children bloom late need a lot more confidence in themselves and prayer that Bhagwan ji, please make sure mere bacche work out. Okay? Because what I have noticed, only now, somebody just wrote to me yesterday that, wow, Puja, your children are doing the passion test with you. My children would never agree. Honestly, that is because I never enforced any of my work onto my children. The one thing I used to request them was do gratitude. And I can tell you there came a time when my children hit 17, 18, 19 where they said, you know what, mom, we don't even like the word gratitude. We don't want to do gratitude. Because I had asked them to do it so much, they stopped liking to do gratitude. Today my son calls it something else. He still does gratitude, but he doesn't call it gratitude because he has a stigma attached to gratitude. So for all of you parents here, my best suggestion to you is know this. That if you are doing something that's working for you in your life, whenever your children will need, they will come back to practicing the exact same thing as you do. Okay? Whenever they will need that source of power from wherever they saw you getting your source of power, whether it was through mantras, through doing jap, through doing meditation, through doing breath work, through doing prayers, through going to the temple, fasting on Tuesdays, being vegetarian on a particular day, our children learn from us. Okay, so the best thing you can do is you do it enough that it starts to work for you. And if they see it working for you, trust me when I say this, eventually they will do it. There's no point forcing your child from the age of 5 to 11 or 11 to 15 to do this. And then for the rest of his life, he doesn't want to do it. Contrast it is my suggestion. What you can do is you do it and don't ask them to do it. And you know what? A time will come where they will naturally start to want to do it. So my children can say this, that in the work I have never tried to be a coach at home. I've always been a mom, and whenever they needed coaching or if they ever asked me for suggestions, I would say go. I took them to America to attend the Jack Canfield course because that had really helped me. I said, would you be interested? They said, we'd love to. And only when I heard we'd love to, did I take them or do anything with them. Otherwise, I just left it to God that his parents are such that if they just live a life where you are able to tell yourself that if my children did everything exactly the way I am doing it, would I be proud of them? And you know what? If you are able to say that to yourself, you've done a great job of your parenting, Meri Jaan. Really, I'll say that. Yeah? Alright, we're already at 10:41. Let's take a few more questions. Nivedita U. Gowda. My husband doesn't help in chores or any other help like recording my videos for my work. He's too lazy and selfish. If I ask him to help him anytime, he rarely does that. But then he gets angry at me for asking. Nivedita, can I tell you, I started my work in 2011 until 2020 till COVID hit. For those 9 years, my husband had never done anything for me in my work. Like never means never. And I never even asked him, and I'll tell you why. The thing was, he thought of my work as a hobby. He thought of my work as an obsession that I have to keep myself busy. He did not, neither respected me nor my work. And once I realized that he doesn't have the respect for my work or for me, I stopped asking him because I felt like that was creating too much problem in our relationship, right? So what I did was hire those people. You can start to train your staff. You can start to keep one person to start to help you with your videos. I kept 2 people, and you know what? For some time it was very hard because I had to pay salaries and I had to pay rent in the beginning, and it was very hard. But I can tell you today who I am because I took on those extra things. You know, I did not treat my business as a hobby. Till the time your business is a hobby, you'll ask your husband, your children to do things for you. The day you become serious, all you need is one person. Okay, and you know what? All you need to do is make those 15,000 so that you're able to pay that one person. And that 15,000, you have to come up with ideas every month, because I don't want them going out of your pocket. I remember my one girl's salary was 25, one girl's salary was 15, and my rent was 40,000, and it used to total up to some 80,000 odd, and I used to say, I am not going to put it from my pocket. I am going to earn that money. Now if I had, let's say, 8 clients I needed for 10,000 rupees each. Now how to find those 8 clients used to be my business. That was the business I was focusing on. Okay, so I don't want anyone here waiting for your spouse to. Today also, whatever my husband does, he does out of choice. I know the day I depend on him, my entire relationship will get spoiled, because till the time they feel like they have an option, they love helping. The day they start to feel that you are expecting it from them, I don't know, they disappear. I don't know why they do it, but they do it. So God help you and God bless you. Now those of you who have supportive husbands, can I tell you one thing I've seen? The day you start to make some real money, men get a lot more supportive. So because masculinity has this thing about chasing economics. So when you start to make real money, till the time I was making 3 to 5 lakhs a month, he didn't really care, because he was happy for me कि अपना pocket money कमा लेती है. But the day I started to make money in crores per month, he was like, oh my God, Puja. And he started to help me financially. He wanted to keep a CFO. He wanted to, I didn't have to ask him. The respect came, and therefore the action came. So my suggestion is, wait for that respect to come. Okay, it takes time. They are the last people who will respect you. Okay, you literally have to get the whole world's respect before you get your spouse's respect. Somehow that's how it works. Okay. Poonam Sharma coach, how to handle jealous people. You don't have to handle them. You have to thank them. In your own inside body, you have to thank them every day. What do I mean when I say this, Poonam? When people are jealous of you, that means you have something they don't have, right? Now, if you are blessed by God or you have worked very hard, the only thing I want you to look up and say, thank you, God, send me more. What do I mean by send me more? If the higher you grow in your stature and status, there are more people who are going to be jealous of you. So jealousy is an indicator that you are doing something right. Start to treat jealousy as a blessing, where God is revealing to you that you are the lucky one, Meri Jaan. Imagine if Shah Rukh Khan said, oh, too many people are being jealous of me, I shouldn't do this. He's happy that people are jealous of him. You should be jealous of Mannat, you should be jealous of his family, you should be jealous of his travel, you should be jealous of his fame, you should be jealous. He doesn't care. I don't want anyone here to care about people being jealous of you. Every time someone is jealous of you, look up and say, thank you, God, send more. Thank you, God, this is an amazing place to be in. Don't be scared of people being jealous of you. Okay, now some of us get scared of nazar. Because of that jealousy, you feel, oh God, how to handle nazar. To nazar, I will say, just go through it. Okay, it is not, nazar is not fatal, it is only an inconvenience. Treat nazar like an inconvenience. We have so many detours when we go on the road. Do we say, I will not go on the road till there is not all signals green? Treat nazar like a red signal. Okay, that means stop, wait, go. Correct? It is only an inconvenience. It is not a don't go or travel only. Start to treat nazar like that. How many of you think you can start to do that? Yeah, we have to just outgrow it. The first time a celebrity came on the cover of a magazine, it's a very big thing. The 15th time when the celebrity comes, no, we don't even look, acha ye hai cover pe, so what? Correct? Same will happen with you. The first time your child eats 3 rotis, you'll be like, haye aaj achhe se khaya, agle din subah bukhar. Correct? But agar wo roz 3 rotis khayega, to you think you're going to care? We just have to make our nazar our new normal. From new to normal, when it becomes, the nazar falls. Then you don't have to worry about nazar. How many of you understood? This is very important, because some of you, when you see people jealous of you, when some of you see people admiring you, you start to get scared कि अब अगर अच्छा हुआ है तो गंदा होगा. Of course गंदा होगा. You are on a roller coaster of life. But जब वो गंदा होगा, वो इसलिए नहीं हुआ क्योंकि अच्छा हुआ था. अच्छे के बाद गंदा आता ही आता है, गंदे के बाद अच्छा आता ही आता है. With me everyone, able to follow? Super. Nazar is the success tax. Absolutely. The tax of success is nazar. Please start to just treat it like a red light on the road. Do not treat it like something that you need to stop doing. You know, in 2015, I started to write blogs, and I used to write these beautiful blogs about my husband and I. And at that time, we were working very hard on improving our relationship. And every Wednesday morning, I would write the blog. Every Wednesday evening, we used to go for dinner and have a fight. And people around me started to say, why do you write those things when you know it's going to create a fight in the evening itself? And I said, no, I have to outgrow it. And within the 4th blog or the 5th blog, somehow everyone accepted that, wow, Puneet is a nice guy, and then that nazar stopped. So we have to outgrow it. It's not that, what do? I nazar lagegi, chhod do. Karna hi chhod do. Aradhana, please answer my question. Aradhana, if I find your question, I promise you I'll answer your question, okay? Poonam Lalwani 4141. Pooja, I met with an accident, some major injury, bar. It happened multiple times on the same date. What should I do? Poonam, stop expecting it. Poonam, your fear is becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. So let me tell you, on 7th of May is my birthday. On 8th of May, something would go wrong. 7th of May would be my high day, and 8th of May used to be my fall day. And either I used to get punished in school, or my exam I would fail in, or something would go drastically wrong. And because it happened 2-3 times in a row over the years, now I started to associate 8th of May as my day of dread. And every time I would be dreadful about it, it became more and more worse. What I did was I changed my thought process. I started to say that 8th of May was my first day on this planet, okay? And I am going to have a beautiful day. I'm going to treat it as a day of wonderment rather than a day of dread. I will see what new thing happens. And I changed my energy towards 8th of May. I changed my entire, now sometimes it may not immediately happen, but you know what? Very soon 8th of May became as good as 7th of May. Why? One of the things I did was on 7th of May I started to check into a hotel, and 8th of May I started to check out. So what happened was that even that 7th of May continued to be on 8th of May rather than it being a great birthday, a bad next day. It changed because my energy towards 8th of May changed, right? I started to think of it as a lucky day. I started to think of it as a good day. My mind started to look for the good things on that day. Instead of dreading, aaj to kuch galat hoga, aaj to kuch galat hoga. If you keep saying aaj kuch galat hoga, pakka kuch galat hoga. You know, manifestation says that whatever you think you can or whatever you think you cannot, you are right. So if you are thinking something to be unlucky, you are right. If you are thinking something to be lucky, you are right. Who creates our luck? Our own mind. Correct? Fabulous, right. So today onwards, whatever that date is, I want you to create a new story. Every day for the next 21 days, if you can write a letter to that date and say, you know what, this date is going to become my luckiest date. I've already paid my price, my tax for this date for being in bad luck. Now I'm going to shift it to becoming good luck. Yeah? All right, let me very quickly announce the winners of last week's challenge. 1 second. So we had over 35 of you participate, and this week's winners who will get my book are Sampata Shweta, Divine Magic _Pratiksha, and Jamuni.design. So massive congratulations to you. If you haven't yet taken my picture, to post it and put your today's takeaway, share it in your story, tag me, I will share it in my post, and then you can win my book. And we have many other things that we design called Date with Puja and other stuff that happens over once you have built loyalty into doing this week after week after week. Come every week and post this in your story every week. Yeah? Alright, let's get a photo. My table moves up and down, so I just moved it down so that my face is not on the words. Cheers, everyone. Got it? Fabulous. Thank you everyone for coming. Let's do one last question before I run. Oh, I found Aradhana's question. I asked you 4 times, ma'am. Even if you ask me 10 times, if I don't see it, Meri Jaan, it is not because I was purposely ignoring it, okay? Is silence the better option to get rid of unwanted talks? It's definitely one of the options. I don't know if it is a better option, okay? It all depends on the scenario. Sometimes in the beginning, I like to choose silence to just see if the other person, if I just let it pass, does it pass? But sometimes people treat your silence as your weakness. If that happens, then I like to sit people down and confront them. So one style of handling unwanted talks is silence. One style of handling unwanted talks is actually confrontation. Confrontation can be polite but firm. So it's not necessary that it has to be fighty or angry, but it's one of the ways. Which is better depends on the person opposite. Some people are wise enough that in your silence, they understand that you're not liking this and they stop doing it. Some people start to do it even more to annoy, irritate you, not purposefully, but because they are not sensitive enough. So it all depends on the person, okay? So I wouldn't say silence is the better option. I think it's like Dolo 650 and Combi Flam. They are similar, but they need to be given to the person with the understanding कि किसके लिए क्या चीज correct है, ठीक है? So Aradhana, I hope you're going away happy. For 4 times you asked me the question. To all of you here, 1,000 apologies. You know, you come week after week after week and I'm not able to answer your question. I myself feel so bad. Trust me, I feel more bad than what you're feeling bad, because I know you give me a whole hour and I just pray that the questions that show up for me answer not only just the person's question but everyone's question. That you know that some question will help those 100 people and some question will help those 100 people, because everyone's question to be personally answered is impossible. True or not? Cards. I've ordered a new set of cards. They should be on their way. I unfortunately haven't carried the cards from home today, but I'm definitely going to keep one pack here. So from next time onwards, there will always be cards, whether I do it from home or I do it from office. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I bought a book. Let me open that book and see if that's helpful. So there's this lovely book I got from London. And it's on journaling. So every page is a new journal question. So I'm just going to look at a question and just repeat it out on what we can be focused on today. Okay, so should I just do like this? Flip, 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 flip. And just open any page. Okay, the page that has opened says not knowing. Let's see what the message is. In a beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. Okay, write down 10 things you don't know or don't understand. Anything from how to get jam to set to black holes. Finding out more about different things can become one of the goals of the year. I think this is so beautiful. So the message for today, it's not a card, it's in my book. It's called Not Knowing. And not knowing basically is just starting to discover topics or things that you may be interested in, but you yet haven't found out. You know, whenever I'm hanging out with my children, which I was the whole of last week in London, one of the things I noticed is that their interests are so different from mine. So one of the things we did was together we went bouldering. Now, I had never heard of this word bouldering. It is all about indoor climbing. And I saw how they were doing everything and how you solve a solution or a problem on the wall. It was just so interesting, and I had so many moments, aha, bulb on moments, just looking at them figuring out bouldering. And I can tell you it was a brand new experience for me, and I just think that it is so lovely that they are exploring so many new things because they are sitting in London. They had bought a telescope and they were so into astronomy. I for the first time saw the moon from so close, the crater, and they were telling me, you know, why moon is called moon, mom, and how the moon signifies the month because it takes those 28 days or whatever. And they were just explaining all of the concepts and different planets with me, and stars, and how far the sun is, and the size of the sun compared to the earth, and just all of this conversation which I will normally never land up having, but I'm having because children are interested in astronomy, because children are interested in bouldering. You know, my children got interested in cooking. Now, for those of you who know me know that I can't cook for nuts, and so my son and I went shopping for knives. Now, I never knew there's a knife called Damascus knife, which is so expensive because it's layering of steel that happens, and we picked up this beautiful knife. It was so expensive, and I was like, really, Noni, knives can cost this kind of money? But it was again such a learning moment for me because I had no idea knives could cost this kind of money, right? So it was just very interesting. So for this week, message is, start to find out things that you normally wouldn't be delving into, the topics that you'd like, you have interest in, but you haven't made the effort to learn more about it. Look for people who can tell you more about it. Look for people whom you can speak to, strangers, speak to new friends, speak to people of what interest they have, and listen a lot more than talk. What's the name of the book? It's called 5 Minutes in the Morning. It's actually my son's book. It was lying in his house, which I took permission and I took it. It seems one of his friends had left it, so he very sweetly said, Mom, you can take it. So I just, it has beautiful such things every day that you can journal on. Maybe next week I'll open another one, but you're more than welcome to pick it up. It's 5 minutes in the morning. Yeah. Photo of the not knowing page. Okay. I didn't check which page it was. I'll go back and find it and take a picture. Okay. Alright, on that note, we are already at 10:59. I better run. When do you do your lives, Puja? Normally 10 to 11 every Wednesday. Okay? So it's 10 to 11 every Wednesday. Sometimes it's 4 o'clock, depending on if I'm not able to do it in the morning. Alright, on that note, 1,000 kisses. Bye.